We'll wait a moment here. Let's see if anybody's going to join in. Well, well, well. We talked about it last night on our show. Um, Ryan's pretty much been in the camp of he was done, and I've been there too. But last night we were talking about, you know, the fact that we were both leaning toward um, Mike probably being retained at the end of this season. And I had indicated in the show last night that I was of the opinion that anything short of an embarrassment this week or next, that he was going to be brought back. Well, we don't have to wait another week. That tonight was a complete embarrassment. Um, and, uh, I don't, not like if they won the game tonight, that's all of a sudden an indicator. It's not to me like, uh, win the game and everything is great. I mean, there's still tons and tons of problems, but you just can't continue to do the same thing over and over again with the tens of millions of dollars that are being pumped into this program and this university for the product that they're getting. It's as far as Mike is concerned, like a it's not a reflection on him as a person. Everybody has said, you know, time and time again, he's a nice enough guy. He's got the right heart. I think he's, um, got the right mindset about things and the way he cares about kids. But, you know, I have that too. And I shouldn't be coaching this team. Um, it's just not working. So it was embarrassing. So I'm in Statesboro right now, visiting my daughter here at school. And we went out to dinner a little bit ago at a fine establishment here in Statesboro and watched a little bit of the game from there. Had quite a few drinks there, some good food, and we came back to watch the second half of the game here at my daughter's place. Um, and it was just a comedy. For those of you that are like old school, like me, you remember the Benny Hill show? The whole at one point in the show they would have this sped up montage with yakety sax playing in the background. That's what the fourth quarter was. It was yakety sax, just a bunch of people. Just I don't necessarily know that they don't know what they're doing, but there's just not enough people that are on the same page, or the right page at the right time, doing the right thing. So, right page, right time, doing the right thing. That's all coaching. It's absolutely all coaching. Somebody posted something on Twitter a little bit ago, um, that said, I think it was Skip Foster, I can remember, said, like, I've never seen a team be so far from, like, the sum is so far away from the parts, right? You've got you've got enough talent on this team to not do what you saw tonight. You've got enough talent on this team to do what to 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 not happen what happened in Stanford. You just do. That's coaching. And you can say, my older daughter said it tonight, coach can't make the guys catch the ball. You're right, he can't, but he, it's 2 years of this. It's one thing if it's like a one game situation. but it's time and time again. So I'm a pretty patient guy. I don't let things get to me too much. I'm not a creature of emotion. I don't fly off the handle. But I also, I like, if you get me to this point, man, I don't know what else needs to be seen. And just so we're all aware, if that move is made, just be prepared that we might get a coach that's worse than him. You never know what you're going to get. Uh, if we go in the market for a new coach, you don't know what you're going to get, and um, you just and you're going to lose some players. So I mean, we all have to know that, right? So you're going to get what you ask for, and I think what's necessary. But there are consequences for the change that's going to be made or should be made. But I think that consequence is a short-term hurt. Sometimes you have to have a short-term hurt for a long-term, you know, positive gain. We have to think long-term about this. We can't think about next week. We can't think about, you know, next season. We have to think long-term for this program. 6 years is enough. And I'll couch that a little bit. 5 years is enough because I do believe that COVID is, you shouldn't count that. I do believe that. So even getting rid of that, 5 years is absolutely enough to make the decision that needs to be made. Um, I don't believe. I believe that they have the money. I also believe that they didn't want. If they could find a way to avoid spending the money, they were going to do it. But you can't. You can't let this happen. Um, it's going to be tough because I'm on my phone right now. I see the comments going here. I don't have anybody producing the show, so I'll kind of read through the comments here real quick. We've got Marchief One here that says he needs to go. Hopefully, we hear about a team meeting tomorrow. Yeah. Again, I go back to what I said in the show last night. Anything short of an embarrassment, he's probably going to continue on as a coach. But this is what I was talking about. I didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen, but it did happen. It was an embarrassment tonight to hear. The Florida State brand is what it is, and it's always going to be that. You cannot take that away. It's always going to be that. This job is always going to be a top 10, if not top 5 job. It's always going to be that. But us as a fan base, if we're not used to the national media, you know, having a mockery of what this program has become, I don't know what you people are thinking. Like it is a complete and utter clown show. 11 points against, let's see, against the team, giving up 37 points per game. Amazing. Yeah. Brett Taylor, welcome to the show. I don't typically go live after the show, but I had to get some energy out here. 11 points. 11 points. And 3 through the majority of the game. I mean, it's ridiculous for me to even say that's not good enough. And that's like a ridiculous thing to say. Um, and so Chris L says, why are people ruling Jimbo out with who is available? Who's a better candidate? There are people. I mean, most people are ruling him out. I think there are some people that my co-host included think that he's viable. I don't think he is. I think, of his own doing, he burned enough bridges when he was here. And so why, I mean, things are already toxic in the fan base. Why would you introduce the possibility of toxicity in the actual athletic department? Why would you introduce that? That would be a very knee-jerk reaction and kind of trying to recapture past glory, which is 99 times out of 100 just not going to happen. So yeah, so I don't think me personally, I wouldn't want him back. Um, but he basically stole money from the university for 8 months for not doing his job while he was basically lining up his next job. Um, I wasn't there, so this is not firsthand knowledge, but it is pretty well known. Um, we've got and so Codese says we've got Jimbo sitting there, a recruiting guru who wants a second chance, and we are letting this dude lead our program. Come on, man. Hey, Jimbo, this was always go back to Jimbo, man. I don't know why. I think, like I said, I think people just think that there's some kind of magic there. The magic was Jameis, and hey, not just him. Obviously, there's a lot of players on that team, and he can recruit. But he recruited his butt off at Texas A&M, and he did nothing with that group and with that money. But again, I go back to the relationship side of it. Um, Jimbo doesn't have that. Like it's not in his nature to have a cohesive, positive relationship throughout the organization, unless he's softened in his old age, because we tend to do that. But I just can't see it. Um, so people have asked me, like, now that this has happened tonight, um, the clown show that happened tonight, without the Chiefs, by the way, again, without the Chiefs, um, is it going to happen tomorrow? Is it going to happen tonight? It's not going to happen tonight. I don't think. Could it happen tomorrow? I think it could. But Michael Alford, Peter Collins, President, those guys keep stuff close to the vest, and they do not get swayed. Like, I will say one thing about them. It's impressive, actually, that they are not swayed by the hot and cold nature of the world that we live in. Um, it's probably why they're all very successful. They've been very successful in their lives, as they're not swayed by those things. Um, so I would not be surprised either way if they're just going to ride this thing out through the end of the season. Um, but uh, but I also would not be surprised if they made a change tomorrow. At some point, um, you talk about how much it's going to cost to move on. At some point, you look at that number and you juxtapose that against the number of dollars that they're going to lose from people pulling their support, from people not going to games. The businesses in Tallahassee and the community are very much, you know, um, like they count on a good product in order to keep their businesses going. I've got some friends that actually own businesses in Tally, and I can tell you that, and it's obviously not, this is not some earth shattering statement, but when the team is doing well, business is good. And when the team's not doing well, business isn't as good. And so let's put another thing on that. When the team isn't doing well and there seems to be no hope in sight on how that can turn around, business is even worse. So it's not just about, the 70 million to buy him out. It's also about, you know, the other dollars that aren't going to come into the program, aren't going to come into the university, aren't going to come into the battle's end, aren't going to come into, um, the community at large. I could care less about the hotels. They can take it on the chin. I don't even care about them. They have been gouging people for years. So if they have a couple lean years, I don't give a damn. But the rest of the community really thrives on that. So they have to kind of balance that. And, yes, it's difficult pill to swallow, but, the math ain't mathin' for all that money you're paying. And this is what you're getting. And um, you're getting a product that is not something you can be proud of. How about that? It's not something you can be proud of. Um, I support my team no matter what, and I will go to games just because this is who I am. But I will go to games no matter what. I think there's more to the whole fan experience than just being physically at the game. There are relationships and people that I enjoy seeing, and being in Tallahassee to me is like going home. So I'll continue to go, but there are a lot of people that won't, and I think that is going to show itself pretty quickly here if it hasn't already. We got a message here from Parker Rollin. This is a good luck to Georgia Southern tomorrow. Good luck against Old Dominion. Their quarterback can move. Uh, yeah, so maybe the basketball team won tonight. They beat Georgia Southern by quite a bit. I think they put up over 43 pointers. So Luke Laux is basically following through on what he said he was going to do. So at least the basketball team won, and maybe Georgia Southern will win tomorrow. Thinking they have a good chance. I got this custom made hat here, this garnet and gold custom made Georgia Southern hat from a buddy of mine here that I met at a skull session in Tally a number of weeks ago. He's a business owner here in Statesboro, and he is he's got a student in the Chiefs, and she's a majorette. And so I saw him at Skull, and he was wearing one of these, and I was like, "Where did you get that?" And he said, "I'll make one for you." So that's how that happened. That's what I talk about. That's why I love going to games, right? You meet people, relationships. It's what this life is all about. Um, I went off on a tangent there. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So Georgia Southern tomorrow here in Statesboro. The game is at Gabby. What time's the game? 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock tomorrow. We're gonna do it up big. We're gonna go to my buddy's tailgate in the morning. Then we're gonna go to the one and only Blue Room here in Statesboro. We're gonna do a little bit of bottomless mimosas and go to. My kids are laughing at me here. Gonna go to the Georgia Southern game and hopefully get a win tomorrow because this this football heart here needs some positivity, and I think a lot of you probably agree with me on that. Um, Ryan is going to be here at the Georgia Southern game here tomorrow as well. Many of you know he's recently relocated to about 40 minutes from here. So he's going to come to the game tomorrow. We're going to go live briefly before the game just to basically, reminisce about the beauty of the game tonight. Um, Maybe about 10 or 15 minutes or so. So be looking out for that. Um, like I said, I don't normally go live after the game to lament, but I just, part of it was because I'm kind of equating it back to what I said last night. You get an embarrassment and things can change. And that was an embarrassment. Now we'll see if the change is going to happen. It should. And, it's warranted. The change is warranted. So, everybody, have a good night tonight. And be looking for us tomorrow if you don't mind. Catch us a little before 1. Be positive as positive as you can be on social media. Um, you know, you're going to have fans that don't want to make a change. You're going to have fans that want to make a change. You're going to be people that are very extreme both ways. Remember, when this is all said and done, players come and go, coaches come and go, but the fans are forever, and so we have to be with each other forever. So treat each other well, be positive, and we'll see you tomorrow. Go Knowles and send Chiefs all the damn time. They should have been.